So I'm not actually got anything fully prepared for today. So I figured I would actually just film some of the painting. So what was going to be prepared is there's going to be a little story where Big Tail and Bunny have their own little comic. And this is some of our planning art that we did for our friends. And I wanted to do a little bit of something that I thought was kind of fun, where classic parent problem that Kraken was telling me something interesting he thought about. He said that we were a lollipop family. And we were in a world where we had to fight the other foods. And we had a cookie dog and a cookie cat, and there was a king, a worthy foe, broccoli. And broccoli was not our foe. So let's see here. Let's try and make broccoli kind of more of a lighter brown. He's going to kind of be a little bit floofy here. So what this is a water pen. And so instead of having to dip into a cup for my watercolors, I can just squeeze or use gravity. See here, how should his legs work? What do you think? Should he have kind of like, whoop? Yeah, that looks good. That's a little bit broccoli-ish, right? Because broccoli, in case you didn't know, the crowns on the broccoli are actually flowers. Bet you didn't know that. Maybe you did. It's good remembering if you remember it. Okay, so we have our little lollipop family. Oh, I didn't make a grandma. And let's put grandma over here. Ooh, boop, boop, ooh. Alright, and then what kind of cookie do you think the animals are? Do you think maybe we have like a snickerdoodle cookie? Let's see here, let's try and draw a kitty cat. Alright. So I always like to kind of draw my kitty cats with a head first. What is a big kitty cat? And then kind of draw their bodies to match where their legs are at. And their tail. Now, if this is not how you draw animals, that is perfectly fine. Everybody has their own technique that works well for them. Let's see here. Oh, now he's starting to look like a dog. Maybe I'll just make this a dog. And do kind of a lighter brown for the cat. What a skinny little kitty, huh? Let's fatten this kitty cat up. Give him a little bit extra. Okay, there we go. Now we have a cat and a dog. And let's have them be gonna be chocolate chippy. Give them little spots. Fun fact, my little monsters are not especially fond of chocolate chip cookies. They just like chocolate cookies like Oreos and Ding Dongs. Ding Dongs are not cookies, but you know. So here's our lollipop family. Usually I like to use a colored pencil to draw the faces on later. But lollipop family and our king broccoli and our cookie cat and our cookie dog. So I didn't finish telling you the classic problem parents have. So Kraken was telling that amazing story, but it was bedtime. Goodness, what are we gonna do? It's bedtime. So, typical situation. Alright, so we're gonna draw Bunny. What do you think, Bunny? So Bunny, I like to kind of have like an apple face. This is actually like a travel kit, this is. And, I mean, that might be a little bit strange that I'm in a house. But I actually really like the travel kit because you just have to get up less. And let me tell you, when you are a mama, particularly a monster mama with ADHD, the less I gotta get up, the more likely I am to finish something. And if I don't gotta get up to even start it, I'm also more likely to do it. So now Bunny has long back feet. Long, so this is a little bit of a stubby bunny, but that's okay. Biggest thing I learned about doing art is that you're never going to be entirely happy with it. There's always a little bit more you might do. I mean, maybe some people don't agree and they're perfectly happy with it, and they don't think that they'd like to fuss with this part or prefer to change something else here. But you know what? Good for them if they don't have that issue. But I definitely do. Oh, his legs are just way too short. Gotta blend that into the body here. Because Bunny is a wandering hare. He is a long friend. Fun little story with my little monsters is that both of them picked their lovely themselves, and more specifically, we had extras. So we got another couple of bunnies, which Bunny's actually from IKEA, and they still sell Bunny. So we were able to get an identical Bunny as far as manufacturing, but Bunny's tail is magic. So Leviathan was able to tell which one was the real Bunny from the tail. One tail would flick a lot better than the other. And that's how we learned that one was better than the other. But for a while, we could interchange the bunnies. So we had 3 bunnies, the real bunny, and then 2 bunny understudies, as it were. And we could swap out if need be, because I tell you, we had a real time of it when Bunny would not necessarily make it home from daycare. And let me tell you, now what I'm doing here is cleaning the brush into this little sponge. So that's one of the things that's nice with it. So the sponge is there too, to kind of help with that aspect of things. So here I'm doing Bigtail. So Bigtail was a lion that we got at the zoo. I am a sucker for getting extra stuffed animals when we're at the zoo or another place as kind of our souvenir. So you might say that they have too many stuffies. But so Bigtail was a lion we picked up at the zoo, and Kraken decided that was his favorite. And so we got another one when we went back to the zoo the next year. Because fortunately, it wasn't too ratty at that point. So we were able to kind of pass off Bigtail, or at that point Lion, and our backup lion. And that daycare that we had him at was not as good at making sure that we got our Lovies when we left. Which, let me tell you, that was a lot of stress, because somebody really needed their Lovely to go to sleep. And so we had to use our backup lion. But eventually, they each got their own identity. So they became Bigtail and Squishy Tail. And for a while, Squishy Tail was well loved enough that he could pass. So if Bigtail got lost, which when you go on adventures through the house under furniture and so on, that you get lost sometimes. Besides being, left at daycare. And so we became Bigtail and Squishy Tail. Squishy Tail was the second runner-up. Now Squishy Tail, sorry about the bump there, is been completely retired and lives their life along with other stuffed animals. Kind of doing their own thing though. Sometimes they are, they get a play, but for the most part, they're just to the side. They're kind of doing their own thing. And that's just how babies be. But Bunny and Bigtail are still important to my boys' lives, so we still treat them as important. And that's what really matters here. What's important to my darlings is important to me. Let's see here. Trying to make a cylinder now. So to be a proper point of art, you have what's called a vanishing point. That's where everything leads back to one point. When you're looking at a landscape or anything else, you're always going to have that. My art does not always have a good basis for this, but that's okay. As I said, it's more for the enjoyment of creating, because my little monsters enjoy that I'm making art of their lovies, then that it's perfect. Because nothing's ever really going to be perfect. There's always going to be something that's not quite right. And the and that's gonna be that's just how it is, you know. That something's always gonna be just a little bit wrong. Well, not wrong, but not quite right. You can always do something more, do something better. The more you do something, the better you'll get at it. And that's why if you see somebody who loves to draw, and you say, why do you draw so much? You're so good at it. Well, that's part of why they're so good at it is because they draw so much. But, that's where we're at. So, this is going to be part of the story for next week. That they're running, and while they're running, they're not being very careful. Uh-oh. So, but that was a little bit of painting. Oh, that was more than a little bit of painting. So, thank you so much if you managed to watch this long. And you have a wonderful day.